Juraj Slafkovsky speaks out about the hit that ended up getting him suspended. We'll be talking about that, plus Coach Martin St. Louis has some great praise for Arber Xhekaj, and finally, Jake Allen wins the Jean BELIVEAU Award for the Montreal Canadiens. You won't want to miss anything we have to say here on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And quickly before the video, don't forget that only 82% of you guys who are watching are not subscribed. I don't usually say what our goals are early in the video, but we want to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the week, and it's definitely possible. We're just over 100 away, so if you're watching our daily content and you notice that you haven't hit subscribe, why not do it right now? What better time? Get us to 2,000 subs before the end of the week. We would really appreciate it. All right, Jesse, let's get into the first topic. Juraj Slafkovsky speaks on his hit. So, as many of you know, a couple games ago, 3 games ago against the Detroit Red Wings, Juraj Slafkovsky went into the boards hard, went into Matt Luff near the boards very hard, sent Matt Luff flying headfirst into the boards, and unfortunately he got hurt on the play. We saw the hit. We knew it wasn't a good hit from Slafkovsky. We knew he would get a similar suspension to Josh Anderson. But today, he was finally asked about the hit, what led to it, and some of the aftermath. And here's what he had to say. Slafkovsky says he was watching the puck more on the hit that got him suspended. Says he reached out to the Red Wings' Matt Luff afterwards, and Luff texted back, thanking Slav for apologizing. Jesse, we know Slafkovsky's not a dirty player. We know he can be a bit undisciplined at times, but we knew he wasn't going for Luff here. It was just a case of a rookie getting caught puck watching, and it's really good that Luff said, thank you for apologizing, because unfortunately he is hurt. What do you think this says about Slafkovsky for reaching out to Luff, at the bare minimum? And what do you think it also says about his play, the fact he got caught puck watching and unfortunately landed a dangerous hit?
Yeah, well, it says that he's a character person. And it also, the play shows that he's still got lots to learn in the NHL, but he's doing great. He's off to a great start, so we're not going to be too hard on Slafkovsky, our star winger from Slovakia that we love so much. He's really just a great person all the way around, and that's why we picked him at first overall. Is he had the skill, but we see when our teams are making these types of decisions, that the character comes into a big part of it as well. And one of the biggest quotes and takeaways that I got from Juraj Slafkovsky to kind of tell me about what kind of person that he is when he mentioned, and this was kind of regarding the draft and to some of the other players and where he was selected, obviously in relation to some other players. And he had mentioned that he actually wishes well for the other people in the draft, that he doesn't wish that, I'm just going to do better than them and everything else. His philosophy in life is that if I wish well for other people, then good things will happen to me as a result of that. So I think that says everything that we need to know about Juraj Slafkovsky as a human being. He's not a malicious person. In fact, quite to the contrary, he's quite a jovial and just all around really great person, So I think it's a mistake that, probably want to get that one away early on in the career, but definitely not intentional.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it seems like his chemistry with a lot of the guys on the team, notably guys like Arber Xhekaj and even some of our prospects in Philip Mesar. He's great friends with them. He's such a great character guy, fun guy to have in the locker room by all accounts. But we're excited to get him back for our game this Tuesday against the New Jersey Devils. And what better game to see him back than in the powder blue, the brand new reverse retros. I can't wait to see what they look like on ice. But no, I completely agree with you. Clearly wasn't intentional. I think it's another case of him still getting used to that much narrower rink that we have in North America. I keep making that excuse. It's not really an excuse, but it's things that you're going to have to work out as an 18-year-old with not much hockey experience, and I'm sure he'll get better as we go on. But I want to stick on the topic of Slafkovsky, and maybe part of the reason that hit ended up a lot worse than it maybe could have if it was a smaller player. He was asked by Arpon Basu today. Look at this. Funny little exchange with Juraj Slafkovsky today. His weight came up. So I asked what his ideal playing weight would be at the age of 25 once he's done developing if he's already 240 pounds at 18 years old. He said that he's not at 240 anymore, more like 230, at least as of 2 days ago. Now I'm going to play the Slafzilla animation because this boy is big, 240 at 18 years old, and in very good shape, clearly. Jesse, what do you think the reason is that he's maybe taken 10 pounds off so far? Do you think it's because he's been working so hard in practice and in games that he's just naturally losing the weight? Do you think it's intentional? Maybe he put on too much muscle in the summer and realized he was getting too tired? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of figuring out what kind of game that he wants to play and figuring it out, right? Because, it is a different style of play here in North America. And, him and his team, which I'm sure work closely with them and all this is nutritionists and everything else, are just kind of tweaking and trying to find the best possible thing. I think, having a lot of muscle is a great problem to have, but he figured, okay, maybe if I can lose a little bit, I still got a lot because I'm Slapzilla, I'm a beast, lose a little bit of that extra weight, but then, get some of that speed as a result of kind of losing that, I think is an optimum sort of sweet spot for him because he's already at 18 years old, like one of the biggest players in the NHL. So it's not so much more size that's needed as just a little bit more speed to go along with all the skill that he has.
Size is great, but you need to know how to use that size effectively at an NHL level, and I think that's something that he's just figuring out. Again, his first year over here in North America, an 18-year-old, there's so much he can figure out about his body and how to use his size as time goes on. Like you said, the nutritionists, the trainers are really going to help him along the way. I think it's cool that he's already lost 10 pounds. Clearly, he cares a lot about his playing weight and cares a lot about, optimizing his own game, and I think we'll see that pay dividends very soon. Let's move on to the second topic today. Coach Martin St. Louis says Xhekaj is gaining confidence, and, we love to talk about Arber Xhekaj here. Everyone loves to talk about Arber Xhekaj. One of the best stories in hockey. The man came from Costco and is now running the half-second power play. It's amazing. So we had a quote from Martin St. Louis. Quote, he's gaining confidence. He feels good out there. I think he's starting to figure out what he is. We all know he has a physical presence and he can fight and everything. But he's learned to manage his game inside the game. And I think that's such a cool thing to hear a coach say because Arber Xhekaj, when you watch him play, he still seems to make some rookie mistakes. He takes a lot of undisciplined penalties, which has come up a lot in the hockey stats sphere, of course. But the fact that the team and the coach trust him enough to run the second power play, to play him big minutes, he's almost touching 20 minutes a night at this point, which is amazing. Jesse, what do you think it means for not only just Xhekaj himself, but for the team that he's really gaining confidence and he's improving this much day by day and the coaches are really noticing it?
It's an amazing sign for the team because that's what we really want, right? We want to get that familiarity with our game in the NHL. And Xhekaj, getting more confident, he was already confident already. So this can just be nothing but good. But I think he's really, as I touched on previous videos, I think he's using that confidence in the best sort of ways. You can see that he's a really coachable person. You see when he's on the ice, whether it be Edmonton, whoever he's paired up with that night, he's all ears. He's listening. He's soaking the game up. And we're really seeing him just get better more and more every night. And even that mobility of his, we're seeing that kind of increase. As his confidence grows, he's making better decisions. He's maybe holding on to the puck a little bit more to make, the optimum decision as a result of that. So, I mean, it's nothing but good things for our team. I've been a huge fan of him. One of the major bright spots, I don't think we're off to such a great start that we are if, players like Xhekaj, along with many of our other rookie defensemen, aren't playing so well. But my question to you, Josh, is, not to take away the shine from Arber Xhekaj, because he absolutely deserves it. He's playing amazing so far this year. But who would you rather see on that second power play unit? Would you rather see Xhekaj or would you rather see Kaiden Guhle?
Well, that's a tough question to answer. We've already seen Guhle run a little bit of that second power play, but not very much. I believe it was only one, maybe 2 games. But Xhekaj has really been thriving in that role recently. I like them both more than Wideman, and I think you share that sentiment. Man, as much as I love Xhekaj, and we're talking about Xhekaj, I'd like to see Guhle get more reps on that second power play. And even if it's not the second power play, I wouldn't mind straying away from the 5-forward first power play, but it's been clicking as well. I just want to test it. I just need to see Guhle there a little bit more, just because, Xhekaj maybe has a slightly heavier shot, and he's a bit of a bigger body than Guhle. But Guhle has proven this season so far that he is a very, very good passer as a defenseman. I saw a very niche statistic earlier saying something like, of all Montreal Canadiens defensemen in their first 15 games with the Habs, he has the most assists with 6 through his first 15 games with the Habs. Very niche, I know, very small sample size, but he's showing that he has an amazing passing prowess. He had 2 assists just in the last game, and he had a couple assists a couple games ago. Just beautiful passes, to Kirby Dach for one of them. And anyway, he's been amazing. I'd like to see him get some more reps. As much as I love Xhekaj, I think you're right. I think we need to see Guhle maybe a little more, but honestly, I don't mind either. I'll be happy with either of them on the ice. Final topic for today. Jake Allen wins the Jean Beliveau Award. For those of you that aren't sure what the Jean Beliveau Award is, it's basic. Well, I'll show the graphic anyway. Let's just bring the graphic up here. Jake Allen wins it. You can see at the bottom, the Canadiens goaltender is being recognized for his community involvement and his dedication to reducing barriers to participation in sports. And I think that's just awesome, because as a goalie, a lot of the times these guys, they're a bit, have strange personalities. The media don't really cover them a whole lot. They don't give a ton of answers. So Jake Allen kind of flies under the radar sometimes, but I think it's awesome to see that he's really doing things in the Montreal Canadiens community and in Montreal as a whole to break down these barriers. And Jesse, I believe he's donating that $25,000 prize to a charity that helps avoid bullying in sports and schools, things like that, things that really discourage kids from staying in hockey or staying in whatever programs they're in. And to be honest, talking about bullying, I don't think that donation could come at a better time.
Yeah, for those of us that follow hockey closely, which if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, is all of us, we know what's been going on in the hockey world recently with the draft, with recent signing from the Boston Bruins, a defenseman, a player which I won't name just because I don't feel like he really deserves that respect at this point in time till he really shows something different. To be honest, it's really timely. I think that hockey as a sport in general, I think we all know as Canadians as well, and even around the world, that we have a lot of work to do in regards to fair play, in terms of discrimination, bullying, those with disabilities, many limitations, right, to the game. It's often considered very elitist in a lot of ways. It's the money involved in playing hockey and everything else like that. So, Jake Allen, this is something he's been doing for a long time. He's been doing a lot on the East Coast, where you're from as well, just to help and just to make hockey more accessible to many other people. So, he's just a class act all the way through, being a leader on and off the ice. So, I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Jake Allen, by all accounts, since he's come to Montreal, has been a class act. And not only that, he's been put in such a tough situation, not only to back up one of the best goalies of all time in Carey Price, maybe the best Habs goalie in history, but then to step in when Price can no longer play. The shadow of that man is enormous. And Allen came in, and honestly, I feel like every Habs fan was happy with how he's done so far, and he's been incredible so far this season. Such a perfect signing. Montreal fans love him. I know St. Louis fans still love him. He's done an amazing job filling in that huge shadow, the huge shoes of Carey Price, but not only on the ice, but also off the ice, has been just such an amazing man to have on our team, and we couldn't be more proud of him. But that'll do it for today's news edition of Habs Digest. If you liked the video, please leave it a like. It helps in the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers, as we mentioned, and we'd love to get there before the end of the week. We want to get 5,000 easily before the season's over. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next video.